Welcome to this explainer. Have you ever just been sitting there and bam, you get this undeniable, overwhelming craving for a sugary snack? Or maybe you've had a wave of anxiety hit you out of absolutely nowhere. Well, today we're diving straight into the mind-bending science of the human microbiome to figure out who or what is actually pulling the strings of your biology.
Think about it for a second. Are you actually the one controlling your thoughts and cravings? I mean, it definitely feels like you are, right? You make a conscious choice to grab that piece of bread or to feel a certain emotion. But what if I told you that you are essentially a giant walking ecosystem, and that billions of microscopic organisms living down in your digestive tract might actually be the ones steering the ship?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer scale of what we're talking about. 500 million. That staggering number, that is the amount of neurons located inside your enteric nervous system. That's a massive, complex neural network lining your entire gastrointestinal tract. To put that into perspective, that is a wild amount of neural processing power. It's so expansive and complex that scientists literally refer to your gut as your second brain.
And here's the kicker. These two brains, the one up in your skull and the one down in your gut, they don't operate in a vacuum. They are in constant, rapid-fire communication. We call this the gut-brain axis. Think of it as a bidirectional superhighway, physically wired together by something called the vagus nerve. It's continuously transmitting information back and forth. Honestly, this is exactly why you get those nervous butterflies in your stomach, or why a sudden stressful event can immediately wreck your digestion.
Okay, let's dive into this next part. Section 1, Chemical Warfare, Gut Microbes and Mental Health.
We are literally entering a microscopic battlefield where your gut microbes actively participate in and even dictate your mental health. This is a massive paradigm shift in psychology. If you ask most people where serotonin, our primary happy chemical, is made, they'll instinctively say the brain, right? But shockingly, 95% of your body's serotonin is actually manufactured right in your gut. Plus, your microscopic inhabitants are churning out dopamine, the reward neurotransmitter, and GABA, which is absolutely crucial for reducing stress and anxiety. So ground zero for your mood, it's not just your head, it's your gut.
But as you can imagine, when things go wrong in that environment, the results are pretty drastic. When unhealthy pathogenic bacteria overgrow, a state scientists call dysbiosis, they create a highly toxic internal landscape. These bad bacteria produce inflammatory substances called cytokines, and the truly terrifying part? These cytokines can actually cross the blood-brain barrier. By doing that, they can directly induce symptoms of severe anxiety and depression in sensitive individuals.
Let's contrast these two states really quickly. A healthy gut is basically like a thriving, highly diverse rainforest. You've got a strong, intact intestinal barrier keeping toxins out of your blood, and that leads to perfectly balanced neurotransmitter production. A dysbiotic gut, on the other hand, is like an inflamed wasteland. You have an overgrowth of pathogens leading to a leaky gut, where toxins literally escape right into your bloodstream. This kind of systemic inflammation is now recognized as a major driving factor behind psychiatric conditions, things as serious as schizophrenia and major depressive disorder.
Moving right along to Section 2, The Hunger Games. Who controls your cravings?
So we know they deeply impact our mood and mental state. But what about our appetite? Well, meet a family of bacteria known as firmicutes. Researchers actually call these fat-loving bacteria. They possess these highly specialized enzymes designed to break down and extract significantly more energy and calories from complex carbohydrates than other types of bacteria. Let that sink in. If your gut is dominated by firmicutes, your body will literally absorb more calories from the exact same plate of food than someone with a leaner microbial profile. Crazy, right?
Let me walk you through exactly how these bacteria essentially trick you into feeding them. It's a vicious four-step feedback loop. First, pathogenic microbes take over the gut. Second, they go ahead and alter your appetite-regulating hormones, like ghrelin. Third, they hijack that vagus nerve we talked about earlier, sending direct signals to your brain, practically demanding their preferred fuel. And what is that fuel? Usually refined carbs and sugars. Finally, you get hit with an intense craving. You eat the junk food and boom, you just fed those exact same bad bacteria, making them even stronger for the next round.
All right, Section 3, The Ancient Alliance, the Mitochondria Connection.
It feels a bit like science fiction, I know, but the rabbit hole goes even deeper. Let's zoom all the way down to the microscopic, cellular level to explore how gut bacteria interact with our body's cellular energy factories. Take a look at this single mitochondrion. We all learned in biology class that they're the powerhouses of the cell, but look closely at the structure. And this brilliantly illustrates something fascinating. It has a double phospholipid membrane, and crucially, it possesses its own distinct circular DNA, entirely separate from the human DNA found in the nucleus of your cells.
Just compare human mitochondria to ancient bacteria. They both have circular DNA, they both divide completely independently of the host cell, and they both have double membranes. Guys, this isn't a coincidence. According to widely accepted evolutionary biology, mitochondria actually were free-living bacteria millions of years ago. They essentially moved into our cells, formed a symbiotic relationship, and eventually just became a permanent, foundational part of human biology. So the crucial point is that because mitochondria are fundamentally bacterial in origin, they speak the exact same chemical language as your gut microbiome. When things are healthy, beneficial gut bacteria ferment dietary fibers into short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs, like butyrate. These SCFAs travel right through your bloodstream and provide essential energy and signaling support directly to your mitochondria. On the flip side, if you've got gut dysbiosis, the resulting toxins and inflammation can physically damage those mitochondria, completely tanking your energy levels and driving chronic disease.
Which leads us to our final section. Section 4, taking back control, feeding the good guys.
I know. Earlier, it might have sounded a bit dystopian, like we're just walking incubators for microorganisms. But don't worry, here is how you actually reclaim your autonomy and reset that microbial balance. The very first, absolutely critical step, starving those pathogenic puppet masters by eliminating refined grains, flours, and sugars. Next, you want to adopt a nutrient-dense framework. Think along the lines of the Mediterranean diet or what researchers call an epigenetic eating program. You can also introduce psychobiotics. These are specific probiotic strains, like Bifidobacterium infantis, clinically shown to reduce anxiety and actively support mental wellness. And finally, load up on prebiotics to actually feed those beneficial strains.
Let's move to and see how this builds on a practical level. Essentially, it means filling your plate with colorful, fiber-rich, plant-based foods. We're talking about the beans, lentils, whole grains, and diverse veggies you see right here. And honestly, here is the most empowering fact from the research. Adopting a diverse, high-fiber diet like this can actually begin altering your microbial makeup and starving out those bad guys in as little as 24 hours. That is incredibly fast.
I really want to highlight this powerful quote from the literature. The microbiome plays a fundamental role in our body's energy dynamics, which affects the calories in, calories out equation. Ultimately, optimizing this intricate microscopic system is the true sustainable key to managing your weight, maximizing your daily energy, and protecting your mental health. It goes so far beyond simply trying to force yourself to eat less and exercise more using just sheer willpower.
Which brings us to our final thought. As you navigate your day and make everyday choices about what to put on your plate, keep the science from this explainer in the back of your mind. The next time you feel an overwhelming, almost uncontrollable craving for a sugary snack or a piece of processed junk food, pause for just a second and ask yourself, who is really hungry right now? Is it you, or is it the puppet masters inside you? Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the microbiome. Go out there and start feeding your good guys today.